So hello and welcome to the very first Mama Memoirs episode. I'm your host Bex.
And I'm your host Kat.
We are so thankful to you all for joining us today. This is our very first one, so we're excited. First time either of us have done podcasting, but we are so thankful to have you guys joining us. We know how busy it is to be a mum, and for you squeezing in these 45 minutes or so to listen to us, we're so pleased to have you.
Thank you so much for sharing some of your day with us. We're going to be talking about all things mum and baby. Babies are great, they are wonderful, they are joyful, but they're also really hard work, as I'm sure all of you can relate. Yeah, I was one morning breastfeeding Mac, my son, and I was just looking for a podcast which was more about real life, not the yummy mummy Insta golden chai latte type podcast, but equally not one just slating your other half, because frankly that's not really ours, is it? So we were laughing and joking like, oh, we should just make podcasts here ourselves, and here we are.
It was one of those moments, maybe we should do our own podcast. Maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe we should. And then frantically Google how to do a podcast.
I may or may not have just bought a microphone.
Oops, yeah, me too. But yeah, our goal is to just share real life of being a mum. We want to make it fun, relatable, and just make that job of being a mum a tiny bit easier. When someone shares an experience that you've also gone through, it just makes you feel heard.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're about. We want to provide some sort of educational support, so we've asked some industry experts to come and do some sessions as well, so you don't have to listen to us ramble on all the time. There will be some advice rather than just ramble.
We also want there to be a community element, so the podcast will be uploaded to Spotify and to Instagram. If you haven't yet followed us, please do head over to _Mama_Memoirs.
And try and say it really quick.
The Mama Memoirs.
Mama Memoirs.
I'm definitely going to mess that up a few times, I know it. It took so much of my brain energy then to not mess that up. Why do we choose that name? So please do get involved in discussion there. The podcast will go live once we've edited them. Get involved in the comments, share your thoughts. Just to know about the podcast plan for today. So it's all about getting to know us. We want you to walk away from this podcast knowing a bit more about your hosts, getting to know us, our backgrounds, our babies, our lives. The second half of the podcast we'll be doing an interview style setup. So we've prepared 10 questions each.
Neither of us know what the questions are.
So it could get quite embarrassing. We might have a lot of ums and ahs as we try and work out the answers, but hopefully you will walk away not only knowing us, but wanting to come back and listen to us again. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us all things you?
I would love to. I'm Kat. I am 32. I literally can't remember my own age.
Is that mum brain?
It's a good start,
mum brain.
32, I think. Yes, I live with my other half, Ross. We live in Berkshire. We have actually just moved house. I would not recommend moving house and having a baby at the same time. But we've done it. We're there. We're through.
Yeah, you've achieved. That is some feat to do both at the same time. So stressful.
Can't say there's not been tears, but we're there. But it's all water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Yes, I live in Berkshire, have one child, Mac, who's now 3.5 months, almost 4 months, wriggling around on me. Before I was a mum, I sound like I've got a new job.
It's a new job, a new life. It is. It does feel like
really
that.
Is.
It does feel like a new life, new existence. I can't remember the me before.
No, it's really bizarre.
She's fading. It's this background.
Before I was a mum, I worked in property. You get way more laughs being a mum. I worked in London. There's nothing really exciting to say about my job, but yeah.
How long were you doing it
So I've been doing it for probably about 6-7 years now. 7 years.
Was it something you always knew you wanted to do? Did you always want to go?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's what everyone you speak to, they go, no, I did not. I wanted to be a princess.
Yeah. Yeah, what them?
Yeah.
I think it was the classic, you do your degree, and then you're like, shit, I have no idea what I want to do.
That looks good.
But my degree actually was in chemistry, completely
Wow,
different.
that is the antithesis of property.
I know, I don't know. But yeah, so I did before I had Mac. We're quite lucky actually, and I think from memory you were the same in terms of maternity leave. So I'm taking a full year off, and my company was pretty good actually, and they paid 6 months full pay.
That's amazing. That's really
And then
good.
it sort of staggers off after that, which is really
It's
good.
really good.
So I've been quite lucky. I really feel for people that have to go back.
Going back and then worried about it the
before-
entire time.
Yeah.
The minute you give them this countdown clock, you
Yeah.
just hear that da-da-da-da-da in the background of your head all the time because you know that it's going to run out. People nowadays can't survive on one salary.
No.
And the point is that when you're a new mum, the time flies by. I know that it felt like it's been 2 weeks. And the idea of going back to work after 4.5 or 6 months is just mind-boggling. There's no way.
I just don't understand how your brain works. Even if you go back to work, like what? I know other people might be different. Maybe my brain's just not working now. I don't know. But like,
I feel the same.
I honestly feel like if I went back to work, I don't know what value I'd be adding.
I keep walking into rooms, I don't know about you, and you know how the
Like,
slightly
why
older
am I
generation,
here?
the stereotypical older generation, my gran used to do this a lot. She'd walk into the room and go, why am I here? I do that every day, 16 times a day. I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. And
The only benefit of this is that you get all your steps in because you're constantly wandering from room to room and then realising why you've gone there and then having to go back.
Right, or you start a task, so I'll start in one room, do half the washing, move something somewhere, forget a bottle, and then I've done nothing to any good quality. It's all sort of 20% done. That's a real one problem.
And the amount of times that I boil the kettle to make myself a cup of coffee, I cannot tell you. The other day Ross was, what's happening with these coffees, babe? I'm like,
that was last month's problem. That's
like, I know you asked me about 2 minutes ago. I've still forgotten.
So intro on me, Beck, 35, also live in Berkshire with my husband Giles and my little new baby Lily. So same age. I think how many days apart do I
think Lily is 2 days older than Mac.
That was it, yeah. Because we actually crossed paths, didn't we? Or husbands crossed paths with each other in the hospital. So Giles was wandering around like a lost sheep.
We bumped into Giles in hospital. And we're like, what are you doing here? I thought you were having a home birth. And he looked completely frazzled.
Did not go to plan. We will definitely be talking about our births in another
that is
podcast
one
episode.
for later.
That is one for later.
Yeah.
But he looked like a lost lamb, didn't he, wandering around the hospital looking for something.
And he couldn't find his way back to the maternity ward.
Bless him. It's heartbreaking. But he said that somebody had to give him directions and then that he came back to the same spot and the same person found him again, so I had to sort of
That was us.
that
was us.
Come on now, come on. So prior to being a mum, I was in risk consulting. So a very desk-based corporate job. Loved a spreadsheet, but that definitely helped when I became a mum. I spreadsheeted the hell out of buying stuff for baby. All of it kind of went out the window, to be honest. When you then have a baby, I swear you haven't got time to plan anything out. It's just
You've got to start somewhere. And I did the same. I had all of his clothes organised in a drawer. And like literally within a week of him being born, it's like...
It's all gone out the window. I was going to get my label maker out and start being really anal and be like, shit. But I thought, no, I'm not going to be that person. And also, it just changes. Everything just goes in somewhere now.
And also, they'll wear the item of clothing for a week.
That's it. And then too tall for it. So there's no point.
There is no point.
So I went in with all good intentions, being really prepared. But I actually studied law at uni, so I also didn't go into my profession. I decided not to become a lawyer when I went round and saw the careers fair. Do you remember those? And you go round and you meet the people that you might be working with. And everyone I met, frankly, was just a dick. So I just I could not see myself. And they were sort of talking about training contracts, and they were talking about, we're really excited to have you all, and we'll be expecting you to be here from sort of 7 until 8 o'clock, basically making teas and photocopying for the first couple of years. And they all just seemed really up themselves. And
I really need a degree to make teas and coffees.
Exactly. And it's all part and parcel, at least was part and parcel back when I was at uni studying law, but it just didn't appeal to me. I went into various kind of financial services roles and now ended up in risk consulting. And enjoyed it, but I I do enjoy being a mum more.
I don't know about you. I do not almost jump out of bed, but I do get out of bed with a little bit of a skip.
Yeah.
To see Mac and be like, morning!
Yeah, I love the morning smiles. Oh my god, they're my
like
favourite
so excited to see you. It's the best
excited.
thing.
It's like they haven't seen you at all. But, she gets all excited, puts her hands up here and smiles. You're like, oh, squeeze you.
It's like the best way to start your day.
It is the best way to start your day.
Can't describe it.
And no matter how tired I am, that will make me feel instantly better. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying being a mum. As you said, it's been tears, puke, poop. All over me at all times, particularly as Lou's been a really sicky baby, so it's been lots of fun, but we'll talk about our babies in a bit more detail in another episode. It's been a wild ride for the last nearly 4 months now.
I know, I can't believe it's been 4 months.
I know.
In 2 months' time, they're going to be 6 months.
I know. Somebody said
that's
to
like
me the
a
other
proper
day
baby.
their baby was 6 months old at swimming the other day, and she goes, how old is she again? I went, oh, she's 4 months in a week. And I went, oh, big! She's so big! And I said, well, thank you.
She's not fat.
Something about baby complex. I mean, yeah, she's really tall, isn't she? And then she went, oh, her hands, they're huge. I went, all right.
Stop insulting my baby.
I've got big hands. I'll make a joke about it every time. I'm like, yeah, she's either going to be an NBA player or she's going to play piano. But since I have the musical talent of a piece of paper, it's probably going to be the former. We'll have to see. But she is really tall for her age. Really tall. She grew out of everything so quick.
Yeah, he's the same. He was a big baby as well, and everyone likes to tell me, "Oh, he's so big." Yes, I know.
Yes, I know.
I know he's big.
I birthed him through my vagina.
I birthed him. Well, I actually didn't. Thank God.
Still doing the
Thank you, Mac, for that little treat. You gifted me my vagina.
Exactly. You're welcome, Mum. Very welcome. Lily did not.
But yeah, we'll have to go into more detail.
Yeah, we will. We'll share all the birth stories and the preparation that we did. We should probably share how we met as well. So Kat and I met on a hypnobirthing class. I'd certainly read a lot about it for pretty much the entire time I was pregnant, because I'm anal and wanted to research everything in advance. So I started looking at ways to make the birth easier, ways to make sure that I was mentally but also just educationally prepared. I wanted to know everything and then decide out of all that information what things I would keep and what things I would hold on to. So I found the hypnobirthing class with a lovely lady called Joanna, and we both signed up to that. It was boiling hot, wasn't it?
It was so hot, yeah.
So hot. It was right in, was it August?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was August. So we were sat in the loft of this boiling hot church.
Sweating.
She's like, are you okay? And we're just like, oh, I'm just melting.
Yeah. All of us 6-7 months pregnant, just sweating profusely. All of the guys are just trying to give us all the comfy chairs and fan us and make sure we're not overheating. We'll talk about that again in one of the other podcast episodes, but it was a lovely way to meet people, and I think we were really fortunate in that out of the group of 5 or 6 couples,
I think there was 6.
We're still close with.
There's 4 of us. Yeah.
I think that's quite rare, because you get some groups where you don't tend to see them again.
Yeah, some people just come in, get the info, and then sort of go, and that. I mean, fair enough. But it's nice to meet people, and especially for us, because we'd only just moved to Berkshire. It worked out really well.
Yeah, it's really, really worked out well. The people that we've made friends with now, I can see myself staying friends with for life.
Yeah, we didn't have the typical hypnobirthing birth. Actually, we probably should have said this before in our intros, but neither of us had. Well, actually, you had a natural birth-ish.
Yeah.
I had a cesarean, an emergency one, and. Yeah, so it wasn't planned. I was basically, Mac was too big for me, and so I ended up having a cesarean. But you had something slightly different.
Forceps and the whole shebang of getting her out, because she was also, her head was too big, but she also got stuck in some nook and cranny inside me. So don't know where that nook and cranny is, but there's a nook and cranny in there that she got stuck in, and she was not coming out.
She was not happy.
She was not, Luckily her heart rate was fine all the way through, but she nothing went to plan. From the minute it started until the minute it ended, nothing went to plan. So even though we did hypnobirthing and would recommend it, neither.
And I feel like both of us were very similar in the sense that we were both planning and we both had done all of the research.
Everything.
Like, we were cool, but we'd done all of the research.
Yeah. I felt really chilled going into giving birth. I felt really zen, even when my waters broke. Obviously the nervousness was building, but I felt,
it's
really
actually
zen.
quite exciting though, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're like,
You're right. It's happening! It's happening! Get the towels!
Yeah, Giles, get the towels!
Giles, he was fast asleep. I was like throwing stuff at him. Get the towels! But yeah, I think that's everything about us.
Yes.
Do you want to go into interview?
Yeah, let's do interview.
We'll introduce that. So we'll turn now to doing an interview of each other. So as we mentioned at the start, neither of us know what we're going to ask the other one. So these answers are going to be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Okay. So I'm going to ask you your first one then. So what did you want to be when you were a kid and why? And not necessarily a kid 5-year-old, because it's probably going to be like princess, but when you were like 12,
after you
13.
decided you didn't want to be a princess, what did you want to be?
Exactly.
Do you know what? I think my earliest memory of thinking what I wanted to be was that that's a really weird way of saying it, but I wanted to be an architect, I think.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's, I don't know, drawing. I always really liked drawing.
Are you good at drawing?
Yeah, I think I was quite good at drawing actually when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wanted to be an architect.
You don't know what any job really looks like in reality. I know I wanted to be a vet, but as soon as then, I think it was my first pet that we had put down around that time in my early teens. And after that experience, it was a no for me.
You're like,
and
it's too
I
sad.
saw the vet doing it, and I thought, there's no way. There's absolutely no way I can put down. Just have all of these animals alive all the time. There's no way. So yeah, that's what I wanted to be. Well, you answered your first question very well.
Right. 3 words to describe how you would spend most of your time before you had a baby.
Oh my god. Uninspired. Out and about. Is it out and about? That's not.
That's one word. One word. That's fine.
Out and about. And yeah, I'd say relaxed. Yeah, because I was spending a lot of time going out, and Giles and I would go and play golf quite a bit. And we'd, pop into London on a whim and leave the house in 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember those
Although
times?
I'm sure you said the other week, you were like, we managed to leave the house in 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes. That was the fastest. It was incredible. It was done at speed.
I don't think I could do that.
We both got into the car and went, whoo!
We made it.
That's not the norm. It's usually at least an hour and a half. Yeah, so it was more relaxed. More out and about, although we have tried, and one of the things that we said to each other when we had a baby was that this may be perhaps a controversial statement, but she's coming into our lives, and as much as obviously we want to give her the absolute love and care and attention that she needs as a baby, that goes without saying, we equally don't want to lose ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose sight of what we did and who we were before. We've just decided to bring her along to everything. So she comes to golf, she comes to the driving range, she goes out and about with us. Yes, less often. Yes, at different times. Yes,
maybe
there are
takes
changes.
more planning.
Yeah, it takes more planning. We need to make sure there's baby changing facilities. But we took her to the rugby the other day, for example.
Yeah,
so it's
like amazing.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience, and she slept through the first half, fed through the second half, and had fans, people taking pictures going, oh, do you mind taking pictures wearing a rugby top? That's amazing. But yeah, we're trying to keep as much of that relaxed, out and about. The uninspired bit, I think, referred to a bit more about how I felt about sort of directional piece in life, where I was going with things.
I feel like once you have a baby, you have a new sense of purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
It just redefines, I guess, your life.
Yeah.
I suppose that's quite deep, but
no, it does.
I think it does.
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
You've got a new sense of priorities.
Yeah, and things that you now want to achieve that are beyond you, things that I want to make sure that she gets a chance to experience, whether that's from an educational point of view or just seeing the world, or there are things now that we've got this focus on that we want to make sure that she's a part of, and that's a complete change where you're before.
Yeah, we were the same actually. We've not quite managed it with the house move and stuff, but actually, he's coming into our life and we're going to bring him along. You just do what you would normally do, and you make allowance for having a baby. Okay,
so your second question, Kat, I want to know a bit more about you and your hubby. So how and where did you meet?
Oh, good one. So Ross is gonna love this story.
Is it embarrassing for him?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, it's actually he's not gonna. He just loves telling it.
Okay.
I started a new job. And Ross was assigned to be my buddy.
Oh.
Yeah. And yeah, that was it really.
So you had to boss you around for the first few however many. When did you move from the buddy trainee
to not?
Yeah.
To more than buddies.
To more than buddies.
I think it was about a year.
Was it?
Yeah, about a year. We were. I don't even really remember how this happened. I think it was a summer party.
Okay.
And I was like moaning
Put
that I
the
hadn't been
moves
on a
on.
date.
Did
And
it?
I was like, oh God, I haven't been on a date in ages. Oh. And he was like, right, we're going on a date
Subtle,
right
Kat,
now.
subtle.
Yeah, really subtle.
God, I just haven't been on a date in so long. Won't there be anyone out there for me who could possibly take me? Oh, look, you.
Oh.
Ta-da.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't even realise that I was moaning. But I'm like, anyway, I was moaning.
Yeah,
Now I look
yeah.
at it, I was moaning. He was like, right, I'm taking you on a date right now. And I was like, ha 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 ha.
Stop it, I didn't think you.
So then we went from the summer party and then we did a bit of a pub crawl.
Oh, no.
And yeah, just got very drunk, as you do in
Yeah.
London. That's literally classic, isn't
amazing.
it?
Yeah, the classic day in life in London.
Yeah, and then it was quite funny because I don't know if you ever dated someone at work, but then you feel like, oh my God,
Everyone knows.
does everyone know?
Everyone
or
knows.
do I think everyone knows? And
Yes.
then actually it turned out everyone did know at the end.
Oh, brilliant. So you skulk off from the summer party like, where are we going?
Yeah. Ross just used to come in and he'd come in the back entrance.
Yeah,
No
nice.
pun intended, obviously.
It's too early for that.
And I'd go in the front.
Brilliant.
And so we'd
Try to make it really subtle.
Yeah. And then
We
I'd
haven't
be
been
sat
with each
down at my desk and then he'd walk in 5 minutes later.
Wow, orchestrated.
Yeah, and then he'd like wink at me and I'm like and then I'd go in and get a coffee and he'd always go in and get a cup of tea and then meet in the kitchen, not like planned.
How was your night?
Yeah, and we're like, oh, how are you? Like, yeah, I'm really well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, that was how we met.
Amazing. Love it.
Which I actually really like because we
It's
didn't.
a lovely story because most people, Giles and I are dating app. It's the Hinge dating app.
Yeah, loads of people are
Yeah,
dating apps.
It's so common nowadays. It's rare to find somebody that's met organically, as it were, and met through a non-dating app situation. So kudos.
Yeah, so that is how we met.
Nice. Awesome.
So my question to you, your ideal holiday.
Ooh, my ideal holiday. So for years, prior to meeting Jai, I would have said all-inclusive. I loved an all-inclusive. I loved an all-inclusive. Turn up, get out of your hotel room at sort of 10, 11 o'clock, go straight to the pool, swim up pool bar, hopefully. Opens at 11, drink through until dinner time. Lovely.
And you feel like you've got a free holiday,
You've got
right?
a free holiday.
I know you
Just
pay
got
for it,
all
but
the
you feel like it's
drinks,
free.
all the food free. You've got your armband, lovely. And yeah, some of the nicest all-inclusives I went to were like Mexico and Cape Verde, and they were beautiful and incredible. I think now my ideal holidays probably changed.
Yeah.
Because Jai, there's no way that I could get him to just sit in one hotel for 2 weeks. The man
He's an
would
active
lose his
person.
man. I wouldn't necessarily say active, because when you say active, what comes to mind is somebody puts on like Lycra and goes out cycling every day.
He doesn't do that.
Doesn't do that. But he's sort of itchy to do things. He likes to experience things. So the ideal place would now be a bit of a mixture. So we're thinking about doing somewhere like Vietnam, 3 days in one of the main cities, then move around to another one, and then maybe go over to somewhere like Thailand to spend a few days at a beach.
You do the beach
Just
vibe for
yeah.
you.
Exactly. So I can get then just 3 days. Once he's exhausted, it's like exhausting a child.
So you're actually going out with another child.
Yeah, exactly. To make sure he's nice and well exercised, and then I can just sit down.
And then by the beach.
Yeah. So then we get a bit of both. And I do like the moving around element. I do need, though, my downtime of just sitting, staring at a book, or just staring at a wall, staring at the sea.
Yeah.
I need
Even
a bit
more
of
so
both.
now you've had a baby, right?
Yeah, exactly. So my next question might be a little bit of a tough one to answer. But speaking of that, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Ooh. Good on the questions.
Thank you.
I think someone someone once told me I was very authentic and positive. People always say I'm positive. I like to think I'm positive. Obviously, I'm not positive 100% of the time.
Yeah, I'd say I'm 100% positive person. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like someone calling you authentic is
That's
actually quite a
amazing.
nice compliment.
Yeah, it's so lovely. It's a really nice thing to say about somebody.
can't-
Fully to the deepest part of your character, that you're truthful, you're easy to be around, you make people feel like you're being your whole self.
So that's quite nice. One for you. This is probably more of a fun one. Top listened to song on Spotify.
Oh my god.
Do you know what it is?
Honestly, I would say it's probably
Pre-baby, because mine is now like Disney.
Now mine is the dancing fruit, if that's on Spotify. But the pre-baby, it's probably going to be it will probably be Knife Party, LLAD. Really love that song.
Maybe we should cut in and do like a little bit of
I'll cut in and play it. This is what I used to listen to in pre-babyhood.
Love it, me too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is mine.
Yes!
This one.
Yeah, there's a bit of a juxtaposition there. Brilliant. Yeah, mine was always drum and bass, and I think I said to you when we first met, we went to one of the hypnobirthing classes, and I said that I'd be listening to drum and bass in the hospital. No, I no. I was listening to the sounds of my screams. I was listening to Giles's recorded relaxation scripts.
Oh.
So yeah, it was really nice. I wasn't relaxed at all, but
you tried.
Still tried. Okay, so your fifth question, or fourth. Your fourth question, Kat. Describe the moment you found out you were pregnant.
So I had a implant. I got it taken out.
One of those,
Like every time we'd have sex, I was like, oh, I could be pregnant. Literally every time.
Yeah.
And then I think the first month I had a period, and I was like, oh, okay, fine. And then the next month, I think I was 5 days late, and I was like, right, I'll do a test.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. But yeah, sadly, that one didn't quite work out.
Okay.
But then the second time, we'd already moved to Berkshire, and I'd been on a hen do.
Okay.
So like, and I stopped drinking as much, but obviously on a hen do you do drink.
Yep.
And I kind of wasn't really drinking that. I was drinking, just not crazy.
Not loads, yeah.
And I say this actually, but there is a video of me dancing on the chair to Dolly Parton 9 to 5. So I think I must have been quite drunk actually. So I take that back.
Or you just like Dolly, which
or I do like Dolly.
Yeah, I do like Dolly. Yeah.
And yeah, so I'd come back from that and was a little bit dazed, and then I was like, oh, do you know what? I haven't had my period.
Yeah.
So I checked, and I still had some tests left over. So I checked, and I was, oh, it's come back positive. So I I didn't message Ross. We were in the house together.
Yeah.
So I came out, I was like, oh, it's positive. And then but then because of what happened before, we basically had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And so I was really cautious, so it was exciting, but at the same time I was like, I can't really count my eggs yet.
No, of course.
I guess I was a bit thinking, I don't want to get too excited just yet, because it could be like a false start.
Yeah.
But
But equally you want to have that.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on the excitement, just because then if it does work out like it did, then you're like, oh, I kind of feel a bit sad that I wasn't excited. So you can't. I feel like until 12 weeks.
Yeah, I definitely told everyone before the 12-week mark for us. We told Jai's sisters at 6 weeks, and funnily enough, we have almost the exact same story.
Oh really? No, we haven't. No.
So I had a miscarriage, but not with Giles. It was 3 years before, 2.5 years before, with my ex. But actually, the relationship was awful. So, as much as speaking about losing a life it's always terrible, but it worked out in the end in the right way.
It sounds really morbid saying it, but
no, it's a really hard thing to get your head around and to say nicely and to speak about. But
And we'll have, if that is the case, we'll have to do a
yeah,
separate
we'll
one
do a
on
separate,
that.
yeah, we'll do a separate episode on it
'Cause
for
I-
people who've gone through that same experience. And it's
Yeah, I don't think there's actually so many people that have it, and it's not very, what's the word? It's not talked about a lot.
No.
A lot of the time, you think it's you, and like
It's got nothing to do with it.
it's
Yeah,
got nothing to do with you, and I
it's not.
I cannot describe how sad I felt. I was again like, looking for a podcast.
Yeah.
There's lots on grief, but not lots on miscarriage.
No.
And I just used to wander around, at the time we were living in Crystal Palace, I'd wander around Crystal Palace listening to podcasts on grief, like weeping.
Oh.
And I was so sad.
It's yeah.
It's really sad.
I know, but because I was in a terrible relationship when mine happened, I don't think I went through those same cycles of grief and emotion, and actually for me it was probably a bit of relief.
Yeah.
But now that I've had a baby, and there's somebody obviously who I wanted to have a baby with, and our relationship is incredible, I don't like talking about human life like that, so it's hard for me to get my head around. But but I did still, because I'd gone through that experience, the first few weeks, I did have that, oh God, what if I have the same thing that happened last time? And I was looking out for the same signs.
Yeah,
and I was looking out for the same twinges and the same, like the mucus and everything. And I was like, oh my God, what's, wiping incessantly, because I was just checking all the time whether I was going through the same thing.
Yeah.
But I tried to not say, I wanted to just be really excited.
And also you don't want to be stressed, because then that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy as well.
Definitely.
So it's so tough.
Yeah.
It's like, I really want to be excited, but I can't.
Yeah. And I really wanted to tell people really early. We just some people going, oh, it's very early that you're telling us. And I feel that it's your individual journey is what counts. If you don't want to tell people until 12 weeks, do you. If you don't want to tell people until 20 weeks, do you. But I wanted to tell people early, and I feel like you should be given the same. Yeah, it's such Y12.
Y12.
Because
I know they do all the
heartbeat
tests.
is going live from 5 and 6 weeks. I think the statistics show that you're more likely to have a baby that survives after that time. I get it from that perspective, but I don't get the pressure or the reaction that's put on people who do share early. Because most people we shared with were really happy with us, but I did get a couple, I'm not to name names, who were sort of, oh, okay, well, we'll wait and see. Wait till 12 weeks. You're like, no!
I'm pregnant now.
I'm pregnant now. I have a baby inside me now.
Do you know what? I would say now, I think we told people before, told my parents before, but I think if something awful like a miscarriage does then happen, if you've told people that you're pregnant, you get that support.
100%.
Whereas it's weird in a way that you don't tell people until 12 weeks, but if you do have a miscarriage before 12 weeks, you're supposed to just ignore it and pretend like you're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that was my thinking. I thought about all of the people that I would tell if the worst were to happen and we miscarried. I thought, surely, if I would tell those people that happened, why wouldn't I tell them that I'm pregnant? That doesn't make any sense not to, so we did. Yeah. But also, funnily enough, on our stories matching, so I went to a hen do.
This is so weird.
Went to hen do the week before and hadn't drunk a lot. I say hadn't drunk a lot. I'd had a bottle of Prosecco to myself because none of the other girls at my end of the table were drinking. And so I'd ordered this bottle of Prosecco.
Right,
and I was
well,
looking
I'll
around,
have to drink for all of you
for
then.
you? No, none for me, thank you. Oh, okay, for you? No, none for me, thank you. So aside from feeling like a complete
Like, one for
lush,
me? Okay, one for me?
I had to put the bottle on the floor to make it not obvious that I was drinking, because I felt so, I was like, right, I'm at the non-drinking end of the table. And I had an entire bottle to myself. So I was I think 2 weeks pregnant at that point, or a week now pregnant. Yeah, so very similar stories.
Okay, so this one is a London-related one. The weirdest thing that you've ever seen on the tube.
So the weirdest thing that I've probably seen on the train, and it was terrifying. I was on the Jubilee line going into work, I think, one morning. Yeah, I must be going in. So it's really, really busy. And this woman had her toddler with her pram with her, and she managed to get her toddler on. And then just as she gets her toddler on and the bags, she's turning back round to then get help with the pram. The doors close. The doors close. And the pram is left on the platform, and she's screaming, going, help, 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 help. and you just see there's some people then joining the platform for the next train.
Yeah.
And there's some guy goes up to the pram and he's waving. He goes, "I'll come to the next stop," like this, and he's saying, "Go, next stop, next stop." And she's in tears. She's got her toddler with her who's now screaming, going, "Mom, the baby, the baby!" And it was so stressful. And everyone around her was just going, "Please don't worry, it happens to everybody." The doors closed so quickly, and it was so busy. It was one of those things where she was just trying to juggle everything.
Yeah.
She was trying to get the toddler on, trying to bring the bags on. She just had so much stuff.
Oh God, that sounds so traumatic.
So I remember it vividly, and it was so horrible. But she
especially
got
on
off.
the tube, you can't actually do anything. I was going to say the weirdest thing that I've seen, baby related, was this family. And I don't know if you've seen these. Maybe we will be this family
Go on.
when we finally get to potty training. But so there was this family. One of them was maybe 3, 4. I don't know what age they start going to the toilet.
Yeah.
Or in nappies. Something like that.
Yeah.
This girl was obviously like, "I need a wee," and they're on the tube, and I was like, "Oh God, what are they gonna do?" But this guy, just obviously the dad, whips out this like potty. It's
like a foldable one.
No, not foldable. It's like the seat cover, and then he puts a plastic bag around the potty.
Genius.
and like whips her pants down. And I'm thinking, do you really want everyone on this tube to be seen? Yeah, and it's a little girl as well. And I'm thinking, I don't know why it's different if it's a boy. It's not really.
No,
but
for
a girl, I just feel.
No, because you are a girl. That's why you feel that preservation of dignity.
Like,
I wouldn't want to be putting my bum out to the whole tube. That's why. Yeah.
So she literally squats down, pees in this essentially a bag with a potty attached, and then he ties it up, and then off they pop.
At least he didn't leave it on the train.
Oh yeah.
At least he didn't leave it on the train.
I thought,
and to be honest, we'll probably be doing something.
I know, that's why I'm just like, I can't
it.
really judge because that's probably going to be me. Okay, me. Question from me. What is something you've discovered about yourself since being a mum?
So probably the biggest thing I've discovered about myself, I think, from a vulnerable perspective, my sensory overload is probably a lot worse than I thought it was. I've always known that I get sensory overload, and I've always found too much noise and too much sort of change in environments really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I'll need to take a moment where I just sort of take myself away from a situation and just have that downtime and clear my head.
Yeah.
It's so much worse now. And obviously, having a baby, they cry. It's obviously, for a lot of mums, they probably feel this, but it's something that, because I've always had that sensory overload thing, now that I've become a mum, I can see just how bad it was and how much worse it's got. And I think I definitely need to spend more time every day just taking 10-15 minutes and trying to get myself zen again, because it affects my patience, not just, well, patience with Lily. I think I've got infinite patience with her. She's a baby, she cries. But it will spread into patience with Giles. My patience with the dogs gets really affected. Just patience to do any other thing other than deal with what's in front of me, which is a crying baby. That's gone out the window. So I think I've learned that it's something that I can't just go, oh, well, I get sensory overload sometimes, so I just need to, be fine with that. I actually need to try and manage it a bit more. I need to be a bit more mindful about it, take some time out doing yoga, meditation, something every day to make my brain less chaotic, because otherwise I'm just not going to be a very nice person to my dogs and my husband. And I need to...
And you can't just be like, I've got sensory overload.
I've got sensory overload, so just deal with it.
You have to deal with
it. Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest thing. So kind of similar one question for you, but what's been your best and your worst mum moment so far?
Oh, okay. Best moment. I feel like I want to say the moment that he's born, and I know that's really cliche.
No, it's not. It's your experience.
But it was just, I've never been so terrified, and the moment we heard him cry was just the best thing in the entire world, because we're like, oh, he's here. And because we'd obviously had that miscarriage before, just made it even more amazing. me and Ross just both burst into. I've never seen Ross cry ever, apart from that one time.
It's such an emotional moment. That first cry is. I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, and then I know I only get one, but I'm gonna do two. The second moment was shortly after, where they're like, "Do you want to know how much your baby weighs?" And we're like, "Yeah." And in my head, I'm thinking £6-7, maybe 8. And like, £10 8, and we were both like, "Holy shit!" Like,
no, one thing came out the sunroof. Thank you,
Are you
doctor.
serious? I did not know babies came that big. He's like, yes, £10 8, and everyone's just in the theatre like, £10. Oh my god.
He's a nice strong boy. He's a very strong boy.
He's a bonny boy. He's a bonny boy.
That's amazing. And your worst moment?
Worst moment. Again, this is within the first day, and I'm sure there's more, but I can't quite remember the moment. But yeah, my probably a low is the day after I had him. For anyone that's had a cesarean will know very well. And they were like, "We really think you should try and walk," because it was probably more than 12 hours by the time I actually got out of bed. It was the most like. I know everyone's going to jump on this because I've had a baby and blah, blah, blah. It's really painful. But cesareans are equally painful.
No, I can imagine they are.
And I was like trying to get to the toilet, which was to have a shower. I hadn't had a shower since I'd given birth like 13 or 14 hours ago. So I felt disgusting. It took me probably about half an hour to get to the shower, which was like probably from me to you, maybe double that. 20 minutes.
But it feels like the Grand Canyon of distances.
And then I got to the shower. I literally would need to hold on to like the disabled thing because I can't stand by myself. So I'm there holding on to the disabled handle, shivering. Ross was like wiping me everywhere, and I'm like, this is so unsexy.
I'm just going to do your bottom now,
Everywhere, babe. Everywhere needs cleaning, and you know, you're just gonna have to do it. Bless him, he did.
It's so true. They do. Giles was changing my nappies. He was changing my nappies constantly. I obviously could take them off, but for the first couple of days, I couldn't bend over properly to get them off. But my feet, everything was so sore, and I was so scared of ripping open. And so I was sort of getting to the bottom, and Joe was like, "Oh, do you need a hand with that?" I was like, "Yeah, need a hand." So it'd come along, like pick up the nappy, fold it over, put it in the bin.
It's like dignity.
I know. And then it'd go and change Lily's nappy. I was like, "Oh God, all dignity is gone." And when I was looking at my stitches, I was getting a mirror, and it wasn't going right. But we'll talk about that in another episode. But Joe was like, "Babe, do you want me to have a look?" I was like, "Honestly, sweetheart,
you've seen enough.
You've gone through so much. You have gone through so much. You've seen enough. What you've seen, you probably shouldn't have seen. So let's leave it there. Let's preserve the final shred of
but somehow it does come back. I don't know. It's like next level bonding.
It is. When somebody's changed nappies for you and washed your crevices. Every crevice.
You have like a newfound respect for them.
Yeah, you do. I love you so much. A little bit to the left.
That'd be great.
Love it.
I think we may have already covered this, but did you and Jai always want to have kids, or was it you met him and you then decided you want kids? Because some people are maternal from like day dot.
Yeah, I think if you spoke to anybody who used to know me in my previous job, they would have heard me say, "Never having a kid, not going to happen, not doing it, there's no way, come hell or high water." But the reason why I was saying that was because I had never met a man that I'd wanted to have a child with. Any of my past relationships they weren't the best, and to put it mildly, and I could not see myself raising a child with this person. If I'm going to have a child, it's going to be with a dad that I can see being an incredible father, where somebody that I know will nurture the child. And until Giles, it hadn't come into my mind. Yeah. So when I did meet Jai, and I think we spoke of very early on, he wanted to have a baby, and I was like, yeah, I could see myself having a child with you. I think you'd be an incredible dad. He'd always wanted to have children, but hadn't found the right person. So yeah, it was one of those sickening love stories. Disgusting.
That's so sweet.
But he made me, as cliched and absolutely cringeworthy as it sounds, he made me want to be a mum. That's the honest truth.
So nice. Love it.
Yeah. How far has becoming a mum changed you?
Oh, I feel like literally a new woman.
Do you?
I feel like a completely different person.
Do you?
I
Okay.
don't know.
Yes.
I feel like I never, not that I never wanted kids. I always assumed that I would have kids at some point.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know when that would be. We didn't really have that many little babies in the family, and so I was never one of those people that was just amazing with babies.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like I've got a new purpose. I feel like it's given me quite a lot of confidence. Maybe I would have cared what people thought, and now I genuinely don't. I don't think before I would have had the confidence to be like, yeah, let's do a podcast and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really me, I don't think.
Yeah. That's crazy that it's changed sort of that much. But
Like I would never describe myself as shy.
No.
I don't think I was ever shy before him, but I always, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit more reserved. I don't know. Okay, before you obviously found out quite early, didn't you?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
What did you think you were going to have before?
Girl.
You thought you were going to have a girl?
I knew it would be a girl before. When we got pregnant, I knew it was a girl. And I kept saying to her, I was like, well, you don't know. You just don't know. It could be a boy. I was like, no, I know it's a girl. I know it's a girl. And even I'm so confident we can just start picking names. It was, but I wanted to get it tested straight away.
And you did have a girl though, didn't you?
Yeah. 6 weeks we went for the DNA test. They just take a bit of your blood and they look for male DNA. If there's no male DNA, then they know you're having a girl.
I didn't even know those things existed. That's pretty cool.
Again, just one of my many nights spent researching crap. But I was desperate to know. I'm so impatient. I'm not sure if I could. Somebody said to me the other day, it's such a magical thing to not find out. And I love that for people. If that's your gig, fantastic.
Each to their own.
Each their own. So second to last question for you. What do most people misunderstand about you?
I was thinking about this the other day actually.
Yeah?
That's really weird. Yeah. I think because I'm chilled and relaxed and easygoing, I think sometimes people think that I don't care.
Okay.
Or I'm not bothered about stuff.
Yeah.
Which I would say, it's not that I don't care about anything. There's definitely stuff that it doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
like,
you mean.
You know when you're chilled about stuff, people
People
just think
say,
like,
well, she's absolutely fine with it. It wouldn't bother her if I cancelled plans with her. It wouldn't bother her if I said something like below the cuff or
yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. I think it's more like work related. Like, I'm so chilled at work. People are like, oh, you're obviously not bothered about being promoted, or you're not bothered about that, or
no, I'm not bothered. It's just that I'm going to be relaxed in any environment. But
I
would rather be promoted. Yeah.
I think that's probably the easiest example to give. Okay, so Bex, final question.
Go for it.
What is your non-negotiable self-care every day to make you feel human? If you're having
really
like an awful day, you've had an awful night's sleep with Lily, what is that one thing that you have to do each day to make you feel like a woman?
It's funny, it's really other than completely emotionally exhausted. We actually, Joe and I said this to each other just before Lily came along. We said it was like probably the week before she was born. Like, what's your non-negotiable? What's the thing that you need as a man to make you feel okay? What do I need as a woman to make me feel okay? What do we need as just humans to still feel ourselves? And Jai's was the gym. He needs to have some time during the day to go to the gym. And mine was having a shower. And it sounds really basic, but for me it's a bit more than, it's having that space upstairs with no one in it.
Yeah.
So because of my sensory overload thing, I just want silence, no TV on, no music in the background. So Jai can go downstairs and have music blaring, but just in my little zone, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, just no sound, have the shower, and then I just get out of the shower and I sort of look at myself in the mirror for a while, stand there, maybe pluck an eyebrow if I can be bothered. Just be. And I sometimes just sit in my towel on the bed and just exist. And he's come in there a couple of times because I've taken so long, and I'm just staring out the window. He's like,
are you okay?
You're okay? Yeah, perfectly.
I'm having the best time.
Honestly, it's a real party up in here. I'm having a wonderful time.
I know it may not look it, but
I know I'm crying.
It's happy tears.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy tears.
No, I just enjoy sitting there in my town in all seriousness and just having just a moment to decompress without the noise, TV on. Yeah, that's for me. What's yours?
I don't get to do it every day, but I really have started enjoying. It will be 10 minutes of yoga in the morning, and it's not it's not like I'm standing on my head or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just stretches.
Is it Shavasana the entire time?
Yeah. I say yoga, it's actually just me lying on the floor.
Lying on the floor. I'm fantastic at Shavasana. I'm amazing at it.
I'm the best Shavasanaist ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like to do a 10-minute meditation or a 10-minute yoga.
That's what I need to do. Yeah.
I just find it quietens my mind in the morning. I have to do it in the morning. If I don't do it in the morning, I don't do it.
Done. Yeah.
Like, I tried to do a 20-minute one this morning. It was probably a little bit ambitious, but I got 10 minutes through, and I just find it quietens your mind, and it also, I don't know, I just feel like my day is much more enjoyable when I do it.
That sounds amazing. I definitely want to take that up. I think that'll help me.
And I think not setting the expectation too high. Like before, I would do 45 minutes of yoga. Like that's not going to happen. 10 minutes is enough to make me feel calm. My mind is quiet. I just feel like the rest of my day generally goes okay when I do my 10 minutes. I guess it's more like meditation.
Very final question. How do you want to be remembered?
Oh, that's a really good one. Do you know, this is actually a really good question, and it's just reminded me of Ross always says, we didn't always used to walk around cemeteries, but there was a really nice one. There was a really nice one in West Norwood, which
we didn't always used to hang around dead people.
Sounds really weird.
What your hobby is?
But
cemeteries.
Yeah, I should have said that at the start. Hey? So we used to walk around this cemetery as like a grade 2 listed one.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like a nice one.
Yeah, they are pretty, and they're meaningful, and I get that.
And you see all the names on the gravestone, and Ross is always like, why it only has their date of birth and the day they died. It doesn't have any information about something interesting about them, which just made me think of that. What do I want to be remembered? What do I want on my gravestone?
What kind of gravestone?
I don't know, I feel like I want to make a difference in the world. I know that's a very philosophical round answer, but I feel even just doing this hopefully people will tell us whether it is helpful. But I just feel when I first had him, I just didn't know what I was doing. All of this sort of general chit chat, and like when you say something to someone, one of the things was after you've had a baby, you get serious bed sweats.
Yes, like, sweating profusely. Yeah,
like I used to wake up and I was sliding around the bed, and it was only because someone had already told me in passing that is a normal thing. Yeah, but I would not have known that.
No, and I didn't know about the nappies thing that well, certainly I was, based on my birth. I had nappies for 3 weeks. I was wearing female nappies, and big ones, proper nappies. Yeah. And I needed them. And nobody really explains that. They're like, oh, you're gonna bleed a bit. And you're like, oh, okay. Well,
no, you bleed a lot.
You bleed a lot for a long time. Yeah. And it's not a lot. Like Freddy Krueger a lot. Yeah. Like,
you're like, whoa.
Oh, okay. It's nothing wrong. It's all normal. It's fine.
So I guess maybe just
making that difference.
Because I don't feel there's any support for mums after you've had the baby. No. I feel like it's only from sort of word of mouth, and if you're lucky enough to have people, family, friends that share that information, then great. But if you don't, where are you supposed to find this out?
You wouldn't feel comfortable with it. As much as people would argue, and doctors might listen to this and think, well, you could definitely talk to your GP. And I get that. And you absolutely
go to your GP like every day.
But every day, exactly. And I would feel like I'm worrying them. Yeah, I feel like I'd just be wasting their time. Like, so I've had this colour mucus today. Well, and when did you start having sex again? And is that okay? And all of this stuff that you wouldn't want to speak to somebody that you don't know very well either. So hopefully this is a place for people to share those thoughts, feelings, hear us talk about it and being open and honest about it, and
be like, oh yeah, that happened to me, and it is normal. Exactly.
I think that's.
What about you?
I think I would like to be remembered as somebody that was. Kind of sound really just boring, but I want to be remembered as somebody that was kind and had a good heart, and I guess I get that from thinking about my dad. He's somebody that would do anything for anyone. Yeah, if somebody calls him in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. and he's done it before, they're stuck out on the motorway, their car's broken down, my dad wouldn't blink. He's the type of person
He'd
to
be
just go, yeah, I'm coming, where are you, 20 minutes, I'll be there. And you say to my dad, junction 4 of the M6, like, yeah, know where you are. You're straight there. And just somebody that no matter what happens and no matter what he's going through in his life, he's always kind, he shows up.
Yeah.
He's always somebody that people can rely on. So if people can say that about me when I'm gone, that I was reliable, I was kind, I had a heart of gold, that would make me very happy, I think.
That's your gravestone.
Yeah, that's my gravestone.
Love
Reliable
it.
Bex. Yeah.
Reliable. Yeah. Oh no, that's really nice.
I think that's a nice part to end our
It
interview
is,
questions
yeah.
on.
Well,
Nice
nice
ending.
end.
So with that all done, I think the final thing for us to cover is the next step. So we are going to do a dedicated session on hypnobirthing, as we've explained, and we're going to bring in an industry expert in hypnobirthing who is also a midwife. So you will be getting the information from the horse's mouth, as it were. Somebody that has practiced this for years now, has helped so many women through the birthing process.
Ourselves included. Despite
it didn't go to plan.
We didn't have the magical water birth that we both thought we were going
birth.
to have.
No, we didn't have the magical
But
water
we
birth.
watched it.
We watched it. We watched the candles and the experience, and it looked wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I bought all the candles for it.
I
So
have them all. I had the water birth.
I almost had it.
Yeah.
Between us.
Between us, we were nearly there. I had 2 hours of it, a few hours of it. We'll also then be bringing on somebody to talk about reflexes in children. So we're learning a lot about this now in some of the baby sensory classes, how important reflexes are as children grow up, some of the reflexes which they should lose by a certain age, some of the points around how if they haven't lost certain reflexes, if they've maintained them, it can have certain impacts on the way in which they function from a motor perspective, from a learning perspective. So we have somebody who's an expert in that coming to speak. We also have a mental health nurse who will be coming to speak to us about all things mental health. And finally, we also have a lady who has carved herself out a niche in the corporate world for female empowerment. She's a mum, she has gone back to work, but she's created a real environment where women feel seen in the corporate world, where they feel able to share their experiences as a mum, they feel able to get the right treatment when they're going back into the workspace. So we will have those coming on the podcast in the near future. We will announce a timetable once we've scheduled everybody in, and we'll be adding more people to the roster as we go. Yeah. If there are any suggestions,
any topics that you specifically would like us to cover, or areas that are particularly of interest.
Yeah.
We definitely are keen to do a bit of research and include them, and we can try and find an expert in.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure there's experts in everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
And we'll also be spending a couple of the episodes in between the speakers just sharing about our experiences. So we'll have an episode focused on the birth, an episode focused on things that we wish we knew when we were a first-time mum, travel, things to remember when you're travelling with your child.
All the tips. We're both going away shortly.
Exactly. So lots to come. We are so grateful for you taking the time to spend it today with us. And we hope very much that you'll tune in next time.
See you next time. Yeah.
Fabulous. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.